Rashidi Clenance, Mr. Rash, Rational Thinker, he's no stranger in the Virgin Islands, in the world of media, in VI Sports, and now as a restaurant owner. Earlier this week, Mr. Rash made a post on Facebook letting us into his world as to why WinMill 2.0, which has become a popular spot in the Virgin Islands, in St. Thomas specifically, and one of the very first VI Sports museums recognizing, showcasing VI athletes in various areas of sports. So we had a chance to talk with Mr. Clenance and find out why the popular location was closed, what he was asking for, and as he said, he's not asking for a break. He's not asking to be let off the hook, but to be just treated fairly. Here's the conversation. Listen in.
Me personally, I like to believe that I'm a fair individual, so when it comes time for people in authority to deal with me, I just want the same thing. I just want fairness. So on Friday, Game 5 of the NBA Finals, we had what we're known for. Any big event, people normally come out and support the bar. This is WinMill 2.0 in Frenchtown. It's just a good atmosphere to view a big game, audio visual wise, etc., etc. So we did that. We opened. We didn't advertise and say, hey, come here. And you know, truthfully speaking, majority of the time the bar isn't a Game 5 Friday situation full. It's usually 6 people in the bar, 8 people in the bar. But on this night, we had a good crowd in the bar looking at the game. Now as the game progressed, and this is something that I battle with every day, asking people to put on the mask and keep your mask on. And as the game get better, it was the best game of 2020. People, in order to make orders, talk to each other is easier without the obstruction. People take the mask down. We guilty of that. No social distancing, guilty of that. I did not organize a mass gathering. So the biggest fine that I was levied was for organizing a mass gathering. And that was not the situation. That was not the intent. And actually I just had a hearing with licensing today. And licensing was very fair with me. They reduced their fines, but they passed off the ticket for the mass gathering to who issued it, which was the police department. It seemed like my situation might have been a little unique to what has happened in the past in these hearings with licensing. So pending, I guess, another hearing with the Virgin Islands Police Department, I still have a $5,000 fine pending.
So you said licensing reduced their fine?
Yeah.
So they reduced their fine, you still have a pending 5,000?
Yeah.
So in total, how many fines you had?
I had, I guess, 3 fines, maybe 3 to 4 fines.
Totaling how much?
$6,200. Okay. So, I mean, you know, everybody going through the same hardship. Truly, I like to believe that it's a community bar. We do things for the community all the time. When we put our big screen outside for people to look at a fight, a game, we don't charge you to come in and look at it. It's free. We're very aware that sometimes people come and bring their own alcohol and we lose on that. But especially in these times, everybody ain't paying for cable television right now. Priorities change everybody normal. So we still want to be that, and we don't want to break the rules doing that. But, you know, considering that we were closed for 6 months, we only reopened for 4 weeks. Closed for 6 months, had to replace items because the bar was closed, a mold, TVs had to be replaced. Projectors had to be replaced, a fridge had to be replaced, dish boxes had to be replaced, you know, just to reopen. So to get fines on top of that, in order to get your license renewed, you got to pay your gross receipts tax. There's no way that I could pay this fine, pay the gross receipts taxes, pay the license fees, and reopen.
We've known you through the years, but let's start from WinMill and then go back. WinMill, I mean, nobody in the community cannot say how WinMill, yourself, and of course, your lifelong buddy Tim Duncan was there for us during the storm. And yourself, you're no stranger to business. You've been around business from clothing stores. Talk a little bit about your history in business.
Yeah, that's another thing to factor in. I have been paying the United States Virgin Islands government money to operate businesses for 20 years now. Like any other business, I struggle every now and again to operate and keep things up to date, because I operating from a place of survival. It's not to say that I am a wealthy individual, but I am a serial offender of throwing money, good money after bad, and I invest in things and that reflect on the community that are not necessarily profitable, but it's just something that I believe in. It's a pride that I have for the Virgin Islands, a love that I have for the Virgin Islands. And you know, I started my first business venture was actually a trip to San Antonio to see Tim Duncan win his first NBA Finals. I guess that's 1999, and from then I never stopped. You know, I owned a barber shop, I owned a t-shirt shop. I was a partner in a bar in St. Croix before moving to St. Thomas and opening a bar there. Opened my own online radio station. And even in this situation, I gotta say thank you to some people who made a public request, not on my behalf, well, on my behalf, but I didn't ask them to do it, which was to send money to help pay for these fines and keeping the WinMill open. And it's a serious thing. It's a possibility that I wouldn't open. If I was fiscally responsible, I see big companies make millions of dollars, and as soon as the revenue streams slow down, they file for bankruptcy. If I was fiscally responsible, I would do the same. You know what I mean? But it's just a passion, and I just want to keep going for the sake of the people that we're paying homage to in that bar. And while we started an online radio station, and while I was on traditional radio stations, you know, one of the weirdest things is when people say, man, when I used to listen to you and your show was so funny, and I'm like, my show's still funny. You know what I mean? It's just where that had a built-in audience, I am now building an audience, and it's different. But the support of the community and the people that came behind it, Scrooge, Culture, The Voice, the young lady who actually came up with the idea, I don't know her personally, but I want to say thank you. And you know, sometimes in life you don't necessarily get help from the people you help, but you get help because you helped. And I feel like that's what this is. Massive. You were talking about the bar, but what I failed to do is allow you to say a synopsis of what is the bar. Right. So let's do that real fast. Well, it is essentially the first Virgin Islands Sports Museum. It has a lot of memorabilia, it has a lot of history, and truthfully is not what we want it to be. We want to be able to put QR codes on all of the displays, all of the items, and let you scan it and get a full history of who that is and what they did. Again, that's financial constraints. Right now we're just in survival mode like so many other businesses. We were struggling to make it before COVID-19. It's even worse now. So, you know, I firmly believe in owning up to what you do, whether it's good or bad. And certainly we had infractions, and I don't want anybody to feel like I am blaming people for doing the jobs, by asking people to do their jobs fairly. You know, I was a former basketball player, and if two teams complaining about the referee, that means the referee do a good job. But if that's not the case, you know what I mean? If you call me for a foul on this end, I want you to call a foul over there too. Anyone who watching this, we want to make sure they understand that you're not asking for wipe away. And right. You come out and you say, listen, we had some faults, we take credit on that, and we admit to it actually. Yeah. And you know, we wanted to pay fines, but let's just be considerate. Okay, well, I'm going to stop you right there. I am not willing to pay the mass gathering fine. I did not organize a mass gathering, nor did I have one. That's pending a hearing, so I don't want to get into the details. But when the hearing comes, we could represent ourselves. Again, while I'm going to take responsibility for what I do wrong, I ain't taking responsibility for things that I did not do wrong. And I've always been that way. So I'm a vocal person. I just want to be able to have the hearing, have justice solved, and serve my patrons again. It's no way for me. I can't get Game 6 back. I was closed for Game 6. The Fortunatus Fire Department initially were coming around and doing numbers, and every time they came after COVID-19, the 4 weeks that we opened, as they opened the door, I would laugh and say, "We socially distancing," because the bar empty. You know what I mean? So I encourage everybody, if you've never been, to come back if we're able to open back. And see what a WinMill is all about. It's really a celebration of VI talent, and for people who are very serious about sports and sports entertainment.
You know, as I'm thinking and I'm hearing you talk about it, I would imagine that, you know, once this takes place, there's a rush to get this process completed so that the business can open back up in a quick hurry. Because every day you close, you still incurring expenses. Yeah. You know, so it seems like, it seems like a long process. So how was that experience?
Well, I mean, that was the most hurtful part of it. Again, like I said, you know, we only talking about couple dollars a night on a good night. But I can't go back in time and play Game 6 in my bar. That opportunity done gone. And basketball is the most popular sport in the Virgin Islands in terms of viewership, at least to my bar. The next big event that I'm going to probably have is Super Bowl. That's a one-day event. So for me to be closed and not loss of revenue, it was the most daunting thing to me. But I have to say thank you to the Department of Licensing for expediting the process to even have a hearing today. Initially, when I got the ticket, I was told my hearing would be October 19th, which was 10 days from the incident. So to have that, I have to say thank you for that. Now I just got to reach out to the police department and see if we could expedite that part of the process as well, and hopefully reopen sooner than later.
And hopefully that happens, because again, easier business close is revenue loss. So revenue
of course.
Not being able to make your fridge still gotta run. That's what, you know, you might probably now gotta go in and turn on the AC to blow up the place. That's right. What again, you know, and it's just we need revenue now, and we need taxable revenue. Right. Like how you say, your business in compliance, you paying your gross receipts, you paying your taxes, you flying under the radar.
Right.
So,
well, I mean,
those kind of businesses
again, in fairness, one of the fines that I got was operating with an expired license. The reason for that is the business was closed when the license expired, and honestly, in my haste to just reopen the business, I didn't look at the paper on the wall. You know what I mean? I would imagine most business owners don't. I didn't even realize until it was asked of me, and I was like, damn. But I just opened 4 weeks ago. That expired during the time that I was closed. Again, that's something I'm willing to own up to as well. But there is a statute that the commissioner at his discretion or her discretion could grant a license or extension in times like these. So that's a request that I have to make. Everybody on the call, and maybe on their side they feel the same way. Everybody on the conference call for the hearing today there was no animosity. Health spoke to me in a way like, this is a pandemic. As much as I hate the fact that we losing revenue, I would hate for anybody to get sick in my bar. I taking this thing very serious. It's very difficult to control in a full room, everybody in that room having a mask. I don't care how much people in the room. It's a difficult thing, but it must be done, and as a community we need to take the COVID-19 seriously. I appreciate this opportunity that you're giving me at Alawi TV to voice my opinion and hear my case. But I just want best for the Virgin Islands and for myself and my staff. And I mean, I don't keep a lot of people and their households going in this business. So we just wanted to be able to keep doing that.
And big up, good luck, our prayers with you and the entire team down there. We've been there a lot, and we've had great times there. And like you said, it's a sports museum for Virgin Islanders. It's the first time, but it's something that was long overdue.
Yeah,
it's
man.
like you go in a museum and you're learning so many people that you have brought to people's minds that a lot of us didn't know.
Right.
So big up to you and that effort, a lot of research, a lot of effort. And I know they were even calling for one over here in St. Croix, and you had plans of that. So
yeah. So I mean, hopefully we could. A matter of fact, I had a conversation about that last night. So it's a rich sports history. You have tourists coming there and they see the jerseys, and they don't realize like Roger Bell is from the Virgin Islands, Tim Duncan is from the Virgin Islands. So it's a special place. If it was just a bar with 2 TVs on the wall, we'd have closed already.
Awesome. You take care, good luck, and we look forward to being there, God's willing, and enjoying a cocktail together.
Yes, sir.